What's up, you guys? It is the Beauty Sitdown with your girl, Brittney.
And Mia, welcome back.
Or welcome to.
Welcome to the first one.
Yeah, this is podcast number 1. And today we are talking all about Sephora. And
Yes, we are.
why I am not the biggest fan of Sephora. I feel like hate is such a strong word, but I just don't have the same feelings for Sephora that I do for Ulta or even like Walmart or Target. So today we're talking all about Sephora and anything and everything related to them. So I am here in the US, Mia's in Canada, and let's just start there, okay?
So I don't have anything but Sephora. So I'm really stuck here. My only option to go get anything other than drugstore is at Sephora, which is unfortunate because I don't get to experience Ulta.
You know what? I think because I have other options, I think that's why I don't shop at Sephora. And honestly, like not that, not that like the only reason that I shop at Sephora is so that I can buy like Fenty products. Like no cap. Like Fenty is really Fenty and the Inky List. Let me not lie. The Inky List too. That is the only reason I shop at Sephora. I can honestly say that I can probably count on one hand how many times I've been to Sephora this year. I could probably look in my app too. But I don't shop at Sephora probably as often as I probably should.
That's so weird because I can get the Inky List at my drugstore. But I have to go to Sephora for literally everything else because I don't have any options. I get Makeup Revolution at my drugstore too.
Okay, so when it comes to Sephora, let me just break down why I don't mess with Sephora. So the reason I am not a Sephora person is because one, I'm a broke ass bitch. Like, let's just start there. Like, I am broke. Okay. If I made money if I made the amount of money that most influencers make from makeup, I probably would shop more at Sephora. Like, let me be honest. But not only am I broke, their point system sucks. Like,
Sucks.
I will I will pay more money for a product I know I can get at Target or Walmart or even Walgreens or CVS. I will pay more money to buy it at Ulta so I can get the points because the point system at Ulta is just amazing. The point system at Sephora is garbage. Why is it that it takes me why do I have to spend like $500 to get a decent amount of points? Like that is like I seriously have had the same amount of points since the beginning of this year, and I've been to Sephora twice. So that's another reason why I don't like Sephora. Now, I can honestly say that they are trying to update their point system, but it's just not good enough for me at this point.
I've been to an Ulta once in my entire life. I was in Vegas and I was like, you know what? This is like where I need to go. And I walked in, I was like, what is happening? It's magical. They give you free stuff. They have great bundle deals. They have a card. Sephora sucks. I cannot even tell you how many times I go in there and they try to get you to use your like 500 points for $10 off, and everyone says no.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so like for me, I think Sephora, let me just give Sephora props. They have said, I'm going to be a prestige company. I'm only going to sell prestige items. And you know what? I give them props. That is what they're going for. They want to be, in my opinion, they want to be like the Nordstroms of makeup. Like that's how I feel. That's what I feel Sephora is. Now, while I think Sephora, like the Sephora collection is a decent like collection and it's very affordable, it just isn't enough. It's not enough to get me to shop there regularly. Like I said, the only reason I will go to Sephora is to buy Fenty and the Inky List, and then occasionally I will pick up something that isn't offered at Ulta. So if Ulta doesn't have a high-end product that I'm looking for, then I will go to Sephora. So like for example, when Anastasia released their brow freeze, I they didn't have it in Ulta at first, or they sold out, and then I had to go to Sephora and buy the product there. That is the only reason I shop at Sephora, is when Ulta doesn't have something. And honestly, I think for me, I don't shop at Sephora because I love drugstore products. Like, I love an affordable makeup look. I think that if I'm going to pay money for something, why would I pay $50 for a name when I can buy the same product for a lot less money and it gives me the same results?
Fair enough. I get that. This is my reason. So like I said, like I don't have any other place to go, and I only have 4 Sephoras in my city. That's it. There's only 4 in my city. So like for example, KVD sold out everywhere. Can't get it at all. It has, and I think 2 of the locations are so small they don't carry all the brands. You have to go to specific Sephoras for certain brands, which is such a nightmare. I do like Sephora as a company. You're right. They said they're being bougie. They are bougie. And like, honestly, I remember walking into my first Sephora. I love them. Their point system is what really kills me. Like, I think they were trying to introduce like the same Ulta card, like use your Sephora credit card. However, I have been Rouge. I've maintained Rouge for so long. Like the tiering system's bad as well, but like I've been Rouge for so long. 20% off isn't the best.
20% off once a year. Like, let's be clear about that. Okay. So Ulta does 21 Days of Beauty twice a year. They do their semi-annual sale. Then after 21 Days of Beauty, they do their like hair product sales, where like you can get liter bottles of products from prestige brands at 50% off. So where you would normally spend $50 or $30 for a liter of product, you get 50% off of that. Okay. So there's that. But then on top of that, they will send out 20% off coupons, even on prestige items, 2 or 3 more times out of the year. So while Sephora is trying to compete with Ulta, because like I noticed that Sephora did like a 50% off on a lot of the same products that Ulta was doing in 21 Days of Beauty. So like when Ulta had the 21 Days of Beauty and they had the Urban Decay Brow Blade on 50% off, so did Sephora. But, and like, they honestly did not even send like any notifications or anything like that.
No.
The only reason I know that it was on sale was because I went to Sephora trying to get a different product. So, I mean,
it's all right. I think, and it's also different, like US Sephora versus Canadian Sephora. We don't get everything that you guys have on your website. There's multiple times where I've accidentally been on the United States website and I'm like going to check out, and then it's like switched to Canadian, and I do, and half my products are gone, which is super, super irritating. So like, I guess, so Ulta is not moving into Canada anymore, so we really don't have a choice. Like Sephora is our only go-to, and a Morphe. Mm-hmm. I have one Morphe store in my city and 4 Sephoras, and the only like big Sephora that carries everything is in West Edmonton Mall. The rest of them don't have every single brand, only has select brands, or you have to order from a different store and pick up. So it's sometimes super frustrating. And also the sales, like I love Sephora as a brand because they do their best with what they have. They have all of the luxury, their Sephora collection. I do love their lipsticks, and I think they're like $12. But like they're not competing. They're really not competing, but I don't have a choice.
Yeah. So I'm looking on the Sephora app right now. I'm just trying to like see like and compare like so right now I never know what I am. Like I know, let me see. I'm trying to see if it'll tell me what I am.
On Sephora?
Yeah. Okay. So I spent $400. Okay.
Did you get? Let me guess how many points. You got 80 points off of that.
No, I got 185 points, and I spent $400. Okay. So like, no, I'm sorry. I spent $448.
Girl, on what?
No, I lied. Okay, I lied. I spent $185. And so I got 185 points. So like they match you one for one at Sephora. At Ulta, I earn for every let me so I say this right before, somebody
Someone comes for us.
wrote. Yeah. Let me go ultimate rewards. So oh, okay. And not to mention, so Ulta gives you like bonus points. So, like the other day, I bought a lot of my hair products because my hair products were 5 times the points that I would normally get. So, when I bought my hair products, right? So, I spent $50 in hair product. I already got 1.5 points for every dollar that I spent. And then on top of that 1.5 points, because I'm a diamond member, I get 50% more. So at this point, I've earned 1.5. So I've earned, let's say, so I have 50. So it'd be 50 plus 25. So let's say 75 points, right? So just baseline, I've earned 75 points. But because I'm a diamond member, I earn 50% more. So 50% of that 75, I earn on top of that. So 75 plus 50% of 75, I'm already at that. Then I get 5 times the points for that product. So think of it as like 50 times 5. That's how many points I got for those products. So I ended up spending $50, but I came out of there with almost 200 points.
So what do your points get at Ulta? Like I don't know. So do you get products?
No, it translates to money. So right now at Ulta, I have 7,677 points. I shop at Ulta at least 3 times a week. And then, so let me just say that. I have $445.50 worth of points that I can use that are the same exact value as cash. So I could walk in there and buy $400 worth of product and not pay a penny. Well, that's not true. I would probably pay tax, but it would be like $2 or $3. I bought my Dyson blow dryer, my $500 Dyson blow dryer for $3 with my Ulta points. There's no way I could have gone to Sephora. No, there's no way.
Okay, let's talk about that then. Redeeming at Sephora.
Again,
I'm not trying to bash Sephora.
Okay, let me just say this right now. Disclaimer. We, in no form, shape, or fashion, are bashing Sephora as a company. No. We are just strictly talking, giving our opinion on how we feel about our experience as a shopper at Sephora. So when you go to redeem your points, and mind you, so they usually redeem it at like what, 100, 500, 1,000. So 1,500. Yeah, 1,500. And when you redeem your points, you get a sample size product, not a deluxe size sample, but a true sample size of a product. I'm sorry. If I'm going to spend
$100 to get that,
$100 to get one, like, I don't understand. Or I can spend 500 points for $10. So I want to just quickly go to.
Okay. And like she said, we're not bashing Sephora because I do respect Sephora as a company. However, I do not agree with the way they structure their point system and how they incentivize customers. That's what we disagree with.
Yeah. So let me just say this. So Ulta, for 100 points at Ulta, you get $3 off. And that's $3 off a prestige item, a drugstore item, whatever. At 250 points, you get $8 off. At 500 points, so the same as Sephora, you get $17.50 off a product. Then at 750 points, you get $30 off a product. So if you have 750 points, you realistically could buy a prestige item for $0. Now, here's the kicker. At 2,000 points, or let me just say this, at 1,000 points, you get $50 off. So Sephora, $1,000 or 1,000 points is what, 3 mini sample sizes of a product
And a bag.
in a bag.
Yeah.
For 1,000 points at Ulta, you could get 2 full, like I could get a full-size foundation for free at Ulta. Like, let that just sink in. Now, mind you, if I give you 2,000 points, which is only 500 more than the 1,500 points that you would give at Sephora for what? A sample size of something, and then what? I don't even know at this point.
And yeah,
you get $125 off of a purchase. So for 500 more points, I could go to Ulta and buy at least 3 full-size products of prestige brands for free. Now, if I took that $125 and went to the drugstore side of Ulta, so like ColourPop, NYX, Makeup Revolution, Maybelline, L'Oreal, Wet n Wild, LA Girl, Essence, all these brands, right? I could make that $125 get me a whole new makeup collection. You know what I'm saying? Or I could essentially pay for all of my hair product for $0. Like, the point systems just don't compete. Like, that is Ulta wins hands down.
Here's my issue. This is my issue, and where I lost a lot of respect for Sephora. Sephora did try to compete for a minute there, and they did. You get $100 off when you gave them 1,000 points or something like that, or 500. It was something around there. I think it was in Canada. I don't know if it was just us, but if you gave them 1,000 points, you get $100 off. So many people had their points built up because no one uses their points that they were starting to lose money. So they backtracked, and you could only redeem that on Tuesdays between 8 and like a certain time, and only the first 100 people could get it. And then they removed it altogether. And that is where I lost respect for their point system, because, okay, 1,000 points for $100, not great, but justifiable. And then they got rid of it. And that's where I started getting frustrated.
Okay, so I am on the Sephora app right now. Okay, so here pretty soon between the third. Okay, so not only did they say, if you don't shop here often enough, we're only going to give you 10% off, but you're also going to get 2 days less than someone who is VIB, and then 6 days less time than somebody who is VIB Rouge. Oh, and by the way, you can only use this discount one time. Like, what? I'm sorry. That's not good enough for me. And then, like, okay, let me stop hating on Sephora. Let me give them props. They have some of the best like bundles. So like the Sephora like lip bundle, where they put like a Tom Ford lipstick or a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in this with like 10 other prestige lipsticks in one bundle for like, say, $70. Like, that is amazing. I could pay $70 for one Tom Ford lipstick. I will give them that. They know how to bundle products so that the consumer can get their money's worth, if that makes sense. However, I just don't, like, it's not good enough for me. Like, it doesn't make me want to shop there anymore, though. Like, does that make sense?
Me and my friends, we strategically figure out when we want to buy. So you're right, those bundles are bomb, but they mostly come out at Christmas. So we buy a lot of our stuff during Christmas season so that we can get these bomb bundles. I think recently they did kind of, I guess you don't have Shoppers. Shoppers does this as well. You get a bunch of mini size mascaras and you get a free coupon for one full size, which is super nice. But their bundles are still not worth it to me to go out and buy, especially because most of their bundles have like one full size product and maybe like a couple deluxe samples, which is just I'm still paying so much more and I'm not getting any points. So I usually look for that 20% off that comes once a year and Christmas time. That's when I'll do majority of my shopping.
So I'm looking at the rewards right now for Sephora. For 500 points, I can get a Clinique More Than Moisture like little set. It's got a sample size of their little Surge Mist. It's got a sample size of the moisturizer Surge Pot Concealer, the cleanser, and then like a sample size of their makeup remover, their take off the day makeup remover oil for 500 points. Now, for 500 points at Ulta, I could get, a full size prestige lipstick or a full size mascara for like $3. Like, that's what I'm saying. And then let me not get started about how Sephora's company handles customers.
I was just about to get in that too. You go first. I'm gonna let you say yours.
So, as a makeup artist here in the States, I offer my clients one-on-one makeup sessions. So, I will go with them to Ulta or Sephora or even the drugstore and say, "Okay, what do you want? Like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for an everyday kind of makeup bag? Like, what kind of products are you looking to buy?" Then I will help them shop. I will help them color match themselves for foundations. I went into Sephora with a client, and mind you, I didn't go with my client. Mind you, like I had been with my client for 2 days. We did a session where I showed her how to apply makeup. We cleaned out her makeup kit. And so she had seen me all dolled up, and we had gotten up at the ass crack of dawn to to get to Sephora when it was pretty empty because we went on a weekend. And so the mall was going to be pretty busy fairly quickly. So we went in and I was like, "Hey, just kind of browse. Let me just kind of see what you would do if I wasn't here in Sephora." And when I tell you, the Sephora employee walked up to my client and was like, "Hey, how can I help you?" She was super friendly. And she was like, "Oh, I'm just like browsing, looking for, some new products, just add to my collection." And mind you, I'm sitting there. Nobody approached me and was like, "Hey, can I help you with anything?" Just my client, which is fine. I wasn't there to buy makeup anyways, but it's just something that I noted. And then this Sephora employee proceeded to try to sell my client products that she didn't need, nor did she want. And I'm like, okay, clearly you're taking advantage of somebody who doesn't know a lot about makeup. But then when she color matched my client, she color matched her, and no joke, the foundation was not dark enough. Like, it was, she didn't match her to her undertones. And mind you, my client was a little bit, she was darker than me, like not much darker, but she was darker than me. And she gave her a foundation that I could probably wear, maybe like a shade darker than me. And I'm like, that's not going to work. So finally I stepped in and I was like, "Hey, look, I'm here with my client. We'll take it from here." I've also gone into Sephora with no makeup on, and these women look at me like and I'm like, if you only knew what I can do with a blending brush and an eyeliner, like a winged liner and some balm lashes, like you just don't even know at this point, okay? But they are, granted, I won't say that Ulta employees are much better. However, Sephora employees are snotty. They just are so snotty, and they are not even good enough makeup artists
to see. And I'm gonna give them a tiny bit of credit because I think this is just the beauty industry in general. That's how it is. But I make it a point now to not go in with makeup. Like, I make it a point to not go in with makeup, especially with masks. And I used to feel so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. It would almost make me not go in the beginning because I was like, I don't have to deal with this. People would come up and be like, "Do you need help? Like, you're looking at this. Like, maybe we should move you to look at this." I'm like, I wish I could just show you my Instagram or pictures so you would leave me alone. Yeah. But the shade matching was a good point too. You have no idea how many times I have to go back and switch out a foundation because they're like, no, it matches you. It's just it's the light in here. I'm like, it's yellow.
Yeah. I think for me, like, Ulta's not any better. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to say that Ulta's better than Sephora, but like when it comes to doing makeup on darker skinned women, or even just like my shade, like I can't tell you how many times I've gone into Sephora or Ulta and had someone shade match me and them give me an orange foundation. Like, if I'm going to ask for assistance, which is very, very, very rare that I ask for assistance. If anything, I'm going to ask like, hey, has this product been returned a lot? Or, hey, have you seen when you've used this product, does it oxidize really bad? Like, how long does it take to oxidize? Things like that. I'm not asking them for actual advice, if that makes sense. But on the rare occasion that I do have them color match me, they always give me a foundation that is orange based. And I'm like, listen, yes, I have yellow undertones. Yes, I have a very neutral undertone. Like, I'm very yellow, but I'm very neutral. So I can wear warm foundation. I cannot wear a cool tone foundation, but I prefer a neutral foundation. I really do prefer a neutral foundation. They always, 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 always color match me to an orange foundation. And I'm like, why? Like, why is it that you do not know, or you as a company do not offer education to your employees that are color matching clients? Like, I don't get it. Like, I really.
Well, I'm really curious because I know a couple of people that work at Sephora. But they do have an education program. However, I think it's only for the makeup artists that are there doing client makeup and not for all of their employees, which I want to know what the process is for that.
Okay.
I'm curious.
The thing is so let's talk about getting your makeup done.
That's what I was moving.
Next. Okay, getting your makeup done at Sephora. I honestly have only ever done it once, and it was when I was in high school. And the only reason I got my makeup done there was because I spent spend $150 and get your makeup done for free. Mind you, I was in high school over 10 years ago. So like, that's how long it's been since I've got my makeup done at a Sephora. For one, like, I don't know, like, you can't tip the makeup artist because that's just their company policy. But
which I don't agree with.
Then on top of that, like, they like push, they set up clients back to back. So there's no time for the artist. Like, if I was a makeup artist and I was like booking clients through a company, I would say I need at least 15 to 20 minutes in between clients to clean and sanitize my brushes and clean and sanitize my station. And like, literally, I have gone into Sephora and like a girl has been getting her makeup done, and then literally as soon as she gets done with her makeup, another client sits in the chair and then they start their makeup, and I'm like, one, you did not clean your brushes, you did not sanitize your products. Let's not talk about using sample products on clients while you're doing their makeup. Like, how many times has somebody used the actual applicator from a lip gloss on their lips and then like, no,
I've seen that.
Absolutely not.
I've seen that. Oh, it grosses me out. I've seen that too. Well, not to mention like customer service aspect on top of that. As a customer, and when I do other people's makeup, there has to be a personal aspect there. If you're shoving someone out the door, they don't really feel valued at a certain point. And they're like, okay, like, I guess I'm done. Like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge, I've been once like you. I never went back. And I can't tell if that's like the makeup artists in us where we're like, so, because I don't like getting my makeup done by anyone else in general.
Mm-mm.
But like, I especially don't like going there. Not to mention, you show the picture you want, what you want. They say they can do it. You walk out. It's not anything what you wanted. It's just, that part is super uncomfortable. Walking in with no makeup is super uncomfortable. Sometimes walking in with makeup is super uncomfortable.
Right? Like, I feel like they're judging me. And I like, not okay. So they're like, I am one of those people, like, things rarely ever shake my confidence. And like I have gone into Sephora and like everybody wants to be complimented, right? Like everybody wants to, oh my God, I love your lashes. Oh my gosh, I love that lip combo. Like everybody wants that. However, I have walked into a Sephora full beat, like beat to the gods. And like when I tell you I knew I looked good, I knew I looked good. And I had a Sephora employee walk up to me and say, "Ooh, I don't think that foundation matches you too well." First of all, let's not talk about matching foundation. Second of all, I don't match my foundation to my face. My face
Neck.
is darker than my whole body. So I match my foundation to my chest and to my neck. And I was like, actually, my foundation does match me. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I was actually there to return a foundation that I was color matched by them. So it just was super ironic. Like I just would never in my wildest dreams, if somebody's foundation did not match them, walk up to them as them being a potential customer and say, "Ooh, I don't think your foundation matches." Like I think that there's a way to go about it, but if I asked you for your opinion, then you could probably say that. Because I like, don't get me wrong, I have walked into Ulta and said, "Hey, what do you think of this foundation on me? Do you think the color's a little off?" Or like if I have questions about whether it actually matches, then
It's valid. Then it's valid.
valid. You know what I'm saying? But never would I ever walk up to a client or a customer and say, I don't think that works for you, girl. Like that doesn't work. Like, excuse me?
That's happened to
Oh.
me in Sephora too. Morphe is the only comparison I have because I don't have an Ulta. I don't think I've ever felt that way walking into a Morphe store.
Mm-hmm.
When I walk into a Morphe store, like I don't know, that feels like a creative space to me where
Yeah.
you're allowed to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walk into a Sephora store, I don't feel like that is the appropriate spot to be creative. And granted, I don't think that's necessarily Sephora itself's fault. Like maybe a little bit, because that's how they're running their company, and more of like the people that's working in the culture behind it. So in no way is that the company fault, but that's how I feel when I walk in, and it doesn't make me really want to return.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I think that just in general, I think Sephora wants to be a prestige company. And they are, like, don't get me wrong, they are a prestige company. And like, do I think that they are trendsetters? Absolutely. Like, I think Sephora was one of the first companies to have clean beauty. Like, that's really important to a lot of people, not necessarily to me, but to a lot of people. That's something that's very important. And I can give that props there. But in their efforts to become a prestige company and a prestige brand, I feel like they're alienating a really big demographic, because they're just not catering to everybody. Not everybody can walk into a Sephora and buy $500 worth of product. I know I can't. When I walk into Sephora, I have a set number. Like when I go to Sephora, I have a product in mind, and I say a product because I could not afford to go into Sephora like I go into Ulta. Like when I go to Ulta, I'm like, okay, what
I'm
new
dropping a
things am I?
bag
Like, yeah,
today.
what am I getting today? Like when I go to Sephora, I know in my mind I'm there for a foundation, or I'm there for an eyeshadow palette, or I'm there for one product specifically. I'm not going to Sephora to just peruse and look. I tell the employees there that I'm just looking and browsing, but in reality, I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to, browse everything, and then I'm going to go to the product that I came to buy and then go to checkout. And that's it. Like that's really the Sephora experience for me, which is why I am not a Sephora girl. Like I don't think I'll ever be a Sephora girl. Like even if I made it big, I just went viral and I became a Michaela, or I became a James Charles. Not that I want to be James Charles, but you know what I'm saying?
I
Like
guess you're
that
saying.
like viral thing. Like if that was what I was looking to do, I could probably see myself shopping at Sephora more just because I could afford to. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I can honestly say that I'm just not a Sephora person. It's not a company that I find myself thinking, "Ooh, I want to go to Sephora." Like, like I literally wait till the last possible minute to do my return, and like that. I mean, that's really it. Like the only time I can honestly say that I go to Sephora is when I need Fenty products or Ulta doesn't have the prestige product that I'm looking for.
Well, so I am a Sephora girl, but it's not out of loyalty because when I tell you everyone here was waiting for that one Ulta store to pop in, we were waiting. And I think it's so good for Sephora that they didn't because they would have lost so much money on the Canadian side. I just feel uncomfortable when I walk in. Like, I don't go in with makeup anymore. I feel super uncomfortable. I feel judged, which again might not be the company. It is so expensive. Like, I feel like, and for me as well, I can't just order online. Shipping to Canada, so high. So like I'm stuck with Sephora or Shoppers, and Shoppers doesn't carry everything. I don't get my makeup done. I've used their facial service before. That was pretty good ish. It's the same thing. You're rushed in, you're rushed out. Like there's not much behind it. And they're always trying to push you the product that they're using that's way too expensive or not working with your skin. Point system is where it really, really lacks for me. I don't have any incentive to buy anymore because I don't want your sample size for 500 points or like 100 points. However, I'm a backtrack and I'm going to say there are some bomb Sephora employees. There are some bomb Sephora employees I've come across, specifically in my city because there's only 4, so you start to get to know them. Mm-hmm. I asked this girl, what are your thoughts for like a pimple patch? Like I'm looking at really sensitive skin. She's like, don't get it here. Go to Walmart. Go get this thing from Walmart.
Yeah.
So there is a few. It's just like, I don't know if Ulta came in, if I would be as loyal to Sephora. Mm-hmm. Love them as a collective. They need to work on their customer service and incentivizing and rewarding customers. Yeah. But let's talk about Sephora Squad. Let's talk about Sephora Squad because this is where it's tricky for us. We are releasing this, and I'll be honest, I applied to Sephora Squad.
Did you really?
I did.
Okay, I will go, leave my testimony for you. I'm not going to lie. I did not apply for Sephora Squad because I just don't know. I just don't feel like I don't want to make this a race thing because I'm not like one of those people, right? Like I'm not one of those people who's obsessed with race. However, like when I look at Sephora, like as a whole, and like I walk into a Sephora, I don't see people that look like me. And so why would I want, not that, like I probably should apply so that I could be that person for somebody else, but I don't see people that look like me. So there really isn't much incentive to want to apply. And I don't know. I just don't. There's a lot of self-doubt on my end. Like I'm not big enough yet. Like things like that. But more power.
Which is fair enough. Well, my reasoning behind was honestly, I have the same thought of you. I'm not big enough. I probably got maybe 50 testimonials. I know I'm not getting in. Like it was more about like, you know what? Let's try. I in no way think I'm big enough. You're absolutely right as well. I went to look and like it's not very inclusive with the people that they're choosing. It's more like, okay, I'll try to network. But my opinion still stays the same. And I wrote it it asked me in there, what are your thoughts on Sephora? And I was like, your point system is really unattractive. I said the exact same thing that I did on here. I'm not going to lie. My opinion stays the same, whether I'm small or James Charles, Michaela Big. Yeah. I think they need to do some work and like they would be so much better switching over to a point system that benefits other people, changing their atmosphere a bit. But you know what? I applied. I'm not getting it. But like, I think it was a good opportunity to try to get more makeup artists because I also noticed that they're not really posting artists that are micro influencers as well. It's majority big influence people.
Yeah, totally. So, you guys, we're going to start wrapping up this podcast. We're already like 10 minutes past our 30-minute limit that we set for ourselves. So, this has been a great conversation. Like, I really like think that we could probably go and do a part 2 to this. Like, we could probably make this a series. We honestly could. But any final thoughts, Mia?
I'm going to leave it on a good note because we were not bashing Sephora. I do respect them as a company. I just think they need to make some changes to kind of reward their customers a bit better, because when you go to Sephora, you drop a bag.
Yeah.
You drop some bills, you get some products. So it's not like people aren't spending a lot of cash there. We gotta incentivize, reward a bit more. Sephora Squad, good move on them. We'll see who they're picking. I'm interested to see who comes out of it, and maybe a little more training for their employees all around. But other than that, good company. I still respect it. I will still shop there.
Of course you will.
How about you?
Honestly, I I just don't think that I'll ever be a Sephora girl, and I hate to say that, but I'm not. I am definitely an Ulta girl. I've been shopping at Ulta since I was in high school. So, I mean, I appreciate what the company is trying to do. Like, I can honestly say that, they found their niche and they're sticking to it, rain, hail, or shine. Like, they are sticking to their niche, and I have to give them credit there. Would I like to see them branch out a little bit more? Absolutely. But for me, it's just gonna be a no. It's gonna be a I hate Sephora type thing for me. And at the end of the day, everybody has preferences, and Sephora is just not my preference. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So if you liked us and you liked this podcast and you want to hear more, please, 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 please hit that like button. Leave us a review. Let us know what you think about this podcast and what you want to see from this podcast. We are the Beauty Sit Down. I'm Brittney.
I'm Mia. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Please subscribe.
Yes.
And we'll be back.
And we will be back next week with a new podcast.